What are some things that staff should take into consideration when working with clients who identify as LGBTQ+?
It's important to mention that, yes, we do have these labels to recognize the different identities within the spectrum. But again, it's so important to not put clients in boxes or have assumptions because, for instance, even if people share a common queer identity, not all of our clients are going to look the same or have the same interests. And so just being able to talk with the client and being open to recognize that people are different and giving people the power to define who they are themselves. I feel like harm reduction has a lot to do with safety. And although we're focusing on harm reduction as related to LGBTQ plus folks, I think that generally speaking, our approach as providers can apply to working with people of various communities as well. When engaging with all clients, we should treat them with compassion and respect, regardless of their gender identity, sexual orientation, race, drug use, choice of work, and so on. And our clients should be able to access services without discrimination. I would take a step back and recognize that we're not always going to know how clients identify, again, as Michelle was saying. And I think that provider bias can show up when we're working with queer folks in our binary worldviews, misgendering a client, meaning not using their correct pronouns, or having assumptions about their sexual orientation. And so to avoid these things, I think we can ask clients what their pronouns are, share ours, ask open-ended questions that prompt more sharing of their stories, and try not to use language that makes any implications regarding their sexual orientation. And when doing this, I think it's okay to have some self-compassion and, realize that we as providers might not always get it right. And I think that's like, it's okay to mess up. And as long as we're naming it and apologizing to our clients and letting them know that we're really trying, I think that that's part of it as well. Other things to consider when working with this population are sexual health and sex positivity. I think focusing on physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being in relation to sexuality and getting to a place of non-judgment, recognizing that sexuality and sexual activity is okay as long as it's healthy and consensual. If the primary intent of harm reduction is to reduce any harm associated with behavior, then I think that as providers, we can tailor the conversations to clients' needs and focus on their sexual well-being and their relationships if they choose to discuss their sexual activity or even sex work. Again, it's not our place to say what behaviors are good or bad, but it is our responsibility to make sure that clients know the risks associated with behaviors and that they have correct information and access to resources. So I guess overall, as providers, we can be more committed to creating and maintaining safe spaces where clients are able to express who they are without fear of bias and discrimination, and where we can just have honest conversations to address client needs and support them.
View our entire educational series to learn more about the People Concerns harm reduction approach to working with LGBTQ+ populations.